Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 took the gaming world by surprise earlier this year, outperforming expectations in both sales and reviews. It's now a serious Game of the Year contender and widely praised as one of the best RPGs ever made. With its immersive historical world, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 proves that realism can be just as captivating as fantasy. Despite the lack of magic or dragons, many Elder Scrolls fans have embraced it. As we approach 14 years since Skyrim, with no true sequel, players have naturally looked elsewhere, and Kingdom Come Deliverance is the closest I've come to recapturing the feeling I had when playing Morrowind, Oblivion or Skyrim. In contrast, Bethesda's latest release, Starfield, fell short of expectations, making Kingdom Come Deliverance's strengths stand out even more. But rather than seeing the game's competition, I think Bethesda could learn a lot from the game that they could apply to the Elder Scrolls 6. In this video, I'll break down 11 lessons that Bethesda could take from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And don't worry, Skyrim fans, eating and sleeping mechanics didn't make the list. But then again, if the player character doesn't say,
I feel quite hungry,
every 5 minutes, can you even call that a real game? Also, according to these online stats I found, only 3% of my regular viewers have subscribed to the channel. So if you do enjoy the video, I ask that you do consider subscribing. Anyway, let's get into this. Side quests. Since Skyrim, Bethesda has shifted towards simpler, more repetitive side quests, relying heavily on Radiant quest design. Earlier titles like Morrowind, Oblivion and Fallout 3 had fewer quests, but each was rich in story and detail. Starfield highlighted how far this formula has slipped, with fetch quests like grab me a coffee or retrieve the beacon from some distant galaxy often handed out by generic NPCs. In contrast, The Witcher 3 set a new standard in 2015, with over 200 handcrafted side quests that felt like full stories with unique characters and branching outcomes. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 followed that lead, offering deep cinematic side quests like Bad Blood, which felt more like a main quest than a side activity. These quests would span hours, involve investigation, dialogue and meaningful choices. This is now the bar for modern RPGs. Now, Bethesda doesn't need to entirely eliminate Radiant side quests or the simpler fetch quests, but they do need to balance them with more detailed story-driven side quests. Even random encounters should feel handcrafted. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 includes over 200 unique scripted events, same with Red Dead Redemption 2, while Starfield repeated the same 5 generic scenarios across countless planets. It's time Bethesda evolves their quest design to meet today's RPG standards. Decision making. Once again, Witcher 3 sort of sparked this trend by adding in the ability to choose options whilst completing side quests, as well as the main quest. Geralt would get to decide how to approach a side quest, and it always impacted the outcome, which had a ripple effect on the overall world. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 matched this not only in its dialogue choices during quests, but also in how players could approach the side quests. They could find out stuff organically, interrogate people not referenced in the quest, or they could skip certain parts entirely. This led to each side quest having multiple endings and outcomes. This not only gives incredible replay value, but it also enhances the experience due to the player freedom. Morrowind and Fallout New Vegas had the same approach, but once Bethesda made Skyrim, quests turned into follow the marker, static objectives with no decisions to be made. If we complete the same quest in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, chances are we will have had a different experience. You had a different ending, we did objectives differently. It's the same quest, but we're having 2 different experiences. In Skyrim, we both did the same quest, and we got the same experience. Bethesda needs to now incorporate the player freedom aspect and integrate some decision making. By doing this, each quest will feel special and make us want to complete them. Because Bethesda's current design of just follow the marker and do the thing, it just makes every quest feel bland and repetitive. Less hand-holding. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 does not hold your hand for long. They give you a few tutorials, then they let you figure the rest out by yourself. They teach you the fundamentals, but leave the mastery to you. This makes the experience more rewarding when you figure things out. Bethesda have always held the player's hand and never let them experiment or risk them becoming frustrated. But as Elden Ring, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Breath of the Wild have shown us, players crave less handholding and want to be able to figure things out themselves. It's become more popular. Now, Bethesda does not need to be the exact same as Kingdom Come Deliverance, but they can certainly take some pointers. For example, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will ask you to investigate something by putting a large circle around the town, so you know where you need to investigate within the circle. But where to go and what to do is up to you. You have to search, speak to the people in the town, and try to figure out where to go. It's still guiding you to the town, but it's letting you figure out the rest from there. That same quest in a Bethesda title would have an arrow directly on a specific person in the town asking you to speak to them. So you no longer have to look for the person, they just point them out. This is far too easy, and it would take away the whole concept of an investigation. Maybe Bethesda could just copy this approach and point the player in the right direction, but not directly to the quest objective. This gives the player more freedom, and it also makes each playthrough unique, and it also forces the player to look at the environment, whereas in Skyrim, you mainly look at the compass just to see the marker. This little example would really help Bethesda's quests feel more alive. Now, just before we go into the others, I just want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, Xmod. Xmod is an amazing tool that unlocks thousands of free cheats, mods and trainers for your favorite PC games, including Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This platform supports over 5,000 PC games, from AAA titles to smaller indie projects. Xmod provides pre-configured trainer scripts that can be activated during gameplay, allowing you to modify in-game variables like health, money, and level progression with ease. So you can flip the mods on or off on the fly. You just launch the app and it will automatically detect all the games that you've got in your library, show you all the mods available, and then you can just click play. Now, just to give you an example of some of the mods available with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, you have infinite health, infinite stamina for those who have trouble with combat, infinite energy and infinite nourishment for those who don't like the survival mechanics, the ability to upskill levels and perks if you want to skip the grind on a second playthrough, or you don't have the time to blacksmith for hours, and the ability to make as much money as you want. You can also add the option to save whenever you'd like without the savior snaps. This app gives you a whole new way to experience video games, and it's super easy to use. An example for me is I got stuck during a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 playthrough. I ended up getting food poisoning and I had little to no health, but I only had one save file. So basically, every time I died, I was in a situation I couldn't get out of. I had no other save files to go back to, so it was game over for me. I used Xmod to give myself infinite health, I found an antidote, and then I switched the mod back off once I was able to save. Total control. Xmod is easy to use and it works with over 5,000 games. You can try it today for free by using the link in the description below. And thank you again to Xmod for sponsoring today's video. RPG stats in dialogue. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, as well as Fallout New Vegas, when speaking to a person you can use your perks and stats in dialogue options. For example, in Fallout New Vegas you can unlock new quest objectives or unique dialogue by having a high enough level in speech, explosives, or even barter. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 matches this with every stat playing a role. Speaking to a hesitant stable master, if you have a high enough horsemanship skill, you can convince him to trust you. Are you speaking to a hunter that's withholding information? If you have a high enough survival skill level, you're able to persuade him to talk. In recent Bethesda games like Skyrim and Fallout 4, the dialogue just boiled down to either simple responses or a persuasion stat. If the Elder Scrolls 6 copied the format of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it would not only make the game more immersive and replayable, but it also makes players appreciate where to allocate stat points each time they level up more. Reputation with factions. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 tracks how NPCs react to your actions. Each town and faction has their own opinion about you. Do bad things to them, they'll dislike you, and vice versa. Keep committing crimes and you'll eventually develop a reputation as a criminal, Get branded and NPCs won't talk to you. Help people out and they'll offer you better prices. Fallout New Vegas had the same formula too, and with the Elder Scrolls having such a focus on joinable factions, I think it's time for Bethesda to incorporate a reputation system too. In Fallout 4, you can become the leader of every faction and there's no consequences. Same with Skyrim. The world doesn't react, making it feel redundant. I feel like the Elder Scrolls 6 will benefit from adding in the same reputation system from Kingdom Come Deliverance, in that every faction has their own opinion of you and you develop a reputation based on past actions. I feel like this would add some replayability, like you can't lead both the Dark Brotherhood and the Fighters Guild as their ideologies clash. You have to decide which of them to align with during each different playthrough. The next playthrough you can try assisting the other group. This would really improve the experience, and they can literally copy this directly from Kingdom Come. Crafting. In Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, there are many crafting minigames. You have the whole blacksmithing experience, the sword sharpening wheel, and the alchemy creation. All of these are different from one another and they really immerse you into the role. Making the potions, gathering the ingredients, following the recipe, like I generally felt like a true alchemist. Blacksmithing for hours rewarded me with great weapons. Not only does this add immersion and role-playing, but a sense of progression. Skyrim had similar crafting options, but they all boiled down to just navigating menus. They felt boring. Starfield and Fallout 4 essentially did the same, and I just feel like this adds more to the world. I want to feel like a blacksmith when I'm smithing, or an alchemist when I'm doing alchemy stuff. Now, I know some people will say that the alchemy was boring or tedious in Kingdom Come, so maybe they don't have to copy it exactly, but they should take ideas from it and think how can they make each crafting experience unique. Sense of progression. So this is a big one for me. In Morrowind, you started weak. Everything could kill you, even mud crabs. You had to grind, work up levels in order to stand a chance of fighting back. The beginning of the game felt like a survival horror game with everything one-shotting you, and then at the end you felt like an invincible god. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 does the exact same as Morrowind in that you start off weak and over time you get stronger. You go from fearing bandits to laughing at them. But it's the journey in between that's most important, that sense of progression. It makes every level up feel important, every perk point allocated vital, and when you reach the end game, you really appreciate the work you put in to get there. After Morrowind, Bethesda changed their formula and made everything scale to your level, so as a result, not only did everything feel easy, but that sense of progression was gone. The difference between being level 1 and level 30 on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is massive. You feel stronger, your sword swings faster, you've got cooler moves, you have more stamina, more health, you feel that improvement. In Fallout 4, I never really felt any different when I was level 1 compared to level 50. It just felt like I was the same. That sense of progression was gone and I didn't feel any more powerful. In Fallout 4, they gave you a suit of power armor, a minigun, and had you kill a dangerous Deathclaw all within the first 30 minutes of gameplay. It didn't feel earned. I'm not saying Bethesda needs to copy this formula exactly and make The Elder Scrolls 6 Elden Ring Part 2, but they should make sure that we feel strong at each level. That sense of progression is an extremely addictive and important aspect of an open world RPG. Leveling system. In Skyrim, every sub-skill had a level, which increased when you did it. Lockpicking had its own skill line that went up every time you tried to lockpick. Same would happen with one-handed weapons or sneak skills. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has the exact same approach to leveling. You would level up the thing by doing the thing. You had a main level, but many sub-skills as well. Fallout 4 and Starfield removed this and just had one main level which went up regardless of what you did, with perks being the replacement. I would recommend that Bethesda return to the Skyrim model and look at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It just makes the game more immersive and lets the player feel the progression when they invest time training that skill. It also lets the player roleplay better too. Rather than being a jack of all trades, it's more fun to specialize in certain aspects. It also makes you think, where will you allocate your time? Open world detail. Make handcrafted worlds, it's that simple. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is one of the most incredibly detailed open worlds I've ever seen. every inch of this map is handcrafted. Like, look at the footage on screen. Every patch of grass, every tree, every rock, every bit of water, it just feels like I'm walking in a real world. No two areas are the same, and this not only helps with immersion, but it helps me remember the world. In Bethesda's most recent game, Starfield, they went with procedural generation, and it resulted in bland, generic landscapes. I didn't feel like any of it was real, and since all the point of interest were randomly placed, nothing felt unique. Bethesda needs to return to their handcrafting when it comes to open worlds, make them worth exploring again. I think it's time now for Bethesda to really hone in and handcraft the entire map of The Elder Scrolls 6. Starfield's design did not work, and it's clear that fans want handcrafted worlds. They can take a lot of inspiration from Kingdom Come Deliverance because they share the same open world medieval setup. They can also copy a lot of it directly over. Bethesda must return to handcrafting their open worlds, and right now, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the example of how to do it right. A bustling city. So if you speak to many players who experience Skyrim or Oblivion, one of their biggest gripes is how the towns feel like they're too small. Like, the lore would describe the town as home to like thousands of people, and then when you get there it's like 5 shacks with 8 people. Starfield's towns felt generic, and they were full of nameless NPCs just wandering around with no destination to go to. And for some reason they all carried suitcases. Fallout 4 had Diamond City, but it just felt like a small outpost, maybe home to like 30 people, and this was supposed to be like the major city. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is Kuttenberg, and that town truly feels alive, and it's packed full of NPCs. Stores are everywhere, people are going about their business. Witcher 3 achieved the same feeling with Novigrad, and Red Dead Redemption 2 with Saint Denis. These cities feel alive, and we feel a small part in a large world that goes on regardless of whether we're there or not. In Bethesda games, the towns sort of seem to revolve around the player. I think it's time now for Bethesda to add their own entry to the list of big cities in RPGs, their version of Kuttenberg or Novigrad. I feel like they can take direct inspiration from these two games, as they absolutely nailed the aesthetics and architecture that one would expect to see within the Elder Scrolls universe. Minimal loading screens. I tried to get back into the Oblivion remaster, but the loading screens were more of an annoyance to me than I thought they would be. I know people will say that I'm being impatient and that back in the day we had loading screens, but nowadays it really does break the player's flow. Starfield had the same problem. Almost every game of today has no loading screens, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is exactly the same. They split the game into 2 regions, where the player can use a cart to go between them, which leads to the game's only loading screen. I'm not saying they can't have any loading screens, but Bethesda have to find a way to cut this down. Otherwise, it's just going to hold them back. Anyway, there you have it. 11 things Bethesda can learn from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I love that game so much, and the only reason why it hasn't completely replaced the Elder Scrolls is because of its realistic setting and lack of dungeons. But if Warhorse Studios were given the Elder Scrolls IP and added dungeons to their world, while sticking to the core design of Kingdom Come, I generally think it would probably be the best Elder Scrolls game to date. I think Bethesda can still make the Elder Scrolls 6 amazing, but I feel they really need to step up their game and raise their standards. The best way to do this is to take a look at the best examples, and right now, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the best in the open world RPG genre, at least in my opinion. But that being said, it's important to copy some things but not all of them. I know that fans of the Elder Scrolls would be upset if they were required to eat and sleep. I know they wouldn't like it if there was no fantasy or if the combat was like Kingdom Come Deliverance. There are certain things they cannot copy, but they can certainly take inspiration from Kingdom Come Deliverance's success and bring it over to their next RPG. I promise you this, if they incorporated half of these things that I've mentioned, it would not only improve their games, it would take them to entirely new levels. This is why Bethesda needs to learn from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But But anyway, that's it for this one, but what do you guys think? Do you feel there's anything else that Bethesda can learn from Kingdom Come Deliverance? Is there anything they shouldn't take from the game? And between Skyrim and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which one was your preference and why? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please give it the thumbs up, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm Av Gaming, where we do video game analysis, identifying what makes great games great and what could make good games great as well. Thanks for watching. Av out.